Dragon King the fighting game was going to be the name of the amazing fighting game we all know, Super Smash Brothers. Hello there fellow video gaming minions, welcome to Dr. Virtual's Thoughts. I ain't actually done one of these in a long time actually, so I thought, just get rid of the old dust on this old videos playlist and just get some virtual thoughts back in. The virtual thoughts will be found in the description of the playlist. Now, I don't know about you, right, but as a kid growing up with fighting games in my collection back then, I actually always, did get thoughts in my mind, in the back of my mind rather, or wondering what would it be if there was a fighting game featuring Nintendo characters. What sparked that innocent thought in my mind? Well, it was from a video game that sparked a 3D world dimension with stunning confidence, and I think we all know that video game as Super Mario 64. You see, playing that game, that amazing overrated gem, was a sheer privilege, right? Especially for a young gamer back then, as I got to get enveloped in a masterpiece of a Super Mario game, right? But I could not help but just be awe-smacked at how truly awesome it was, and for its time, and continued to be so, well, for me at least anyway. Couldn't really care less about anyone else thinks, but I loved the game so much back then, and I still love it to this day. During a fight with King Koopa, also known as Bowser to many, if not all, you grab you grab the princess stealing dragon by the tail, hurricane him 360 and only to the creator's genius, launch him headfirst into a spiked mine hurling around the edge of the arena. It was back then in 1997 where I actually first played the game, right, when I experienced that and thought to myself, wow, that's a pretty cool. What if Mario and Bowser could have a game where they could fight against each other? Well, it was after a few years when I actually thought about that little thought, what if Nintendo brought a game where Super Mario could fight Bowser? I didn't actually send any letters into Nintendo, but it was just after a little bit of a thought and wondering, including any other characters. And so I questioned, hit the camera, sorry, stupid wire. I actually did question such other characters being brought into it, like Donkey Kong, Sonic, and maybe just a few other characters. It was the big day of me playing a very well-loved video game that not only broke my dreams, right, but in the terms of being overly shocked that it happened. But also for me, it made me feel fulfilled that a fighting game featuring Nintendo characters, it was just like a dream come true. From other various games that I am familiar with, such as Link from Ocarina of Time, although that's not exactly what I called him for many years on that game. I called him named after me or just named after certain silly things, because you could actually have the option of creating his own name instead of just calling him Link. I will give you a link to the past. I would send him to the internet, but there's too many links. I'm sorry, I'll just take myself out, but I'm not going to, it's my home, I pay the bills there. It's you've got Captain Falcon from F-Zero, you've got Pikachu from the Pokemon. I was actually a big, massive, huge Pokemon fan back then, and only one could imagine just the sheer excitement of seeing that Star Fox and Lilac Wars and a few other characters was like a dream come true, as I've already said. Allow me to tell you an experience. A certain retail outlet back then, which sold DVDs, VHS tapes, and video games, went by the name of Blockbusters. I'm pretty sure others in Great Britain would know that shop very well. I keep on knocking my PC and everything. And it was my cousin went to rent the game, Super Smash Brothers. As soon as he got back in, right, from that shop, and put the game in the N64, got it all fired up and everything, my jaw dropped. Literally, of sheer amazement and excitement of how amazing this game actually is, right? I just thought this game was absolute gem. Never before have I been so excited of playing a fighting game where you smash the sonic rings out of your opponents with Nintendo characters. The sheer excitement was just too overwhelming after spending many hours on it. I did not want to let the game go. So as I told my cousin that he was going to return the game the next, not the next day, but after the rent period was over, he actually said to me he's going to return it to Blockbusters. I actually tried to hide the game. I didn't tell him though. To my massive disappointment, I actually hid it underneath my pillow that night, so he couldn't find it. Then when I woke up the next morning, sheer disappointment when I woke up. Yeah, I know, not exactly the best place to hide a video game, which is underneath the pillow, but you know, I didn't know that back then if you didn't return a game, then you would get in trouble. It's just like borrowing things from a library. If you don't pay it, if you don't give it back, you'll get in trouble. You have to pay a little bit more extra for that as well, I think. But I very much loved the game. Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, I know I had games like Clay Fighters 63 and a third. I had games like Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I had games like Killer Instinct, which is pretty awesome still. None of them even came close to a glimpse at how much I would have destroyed these little thumbs of playing Super Smash Brothers instead of those other fighting games. But for me personally, Super Smash Bros. Has always been a successful battle royale fighting game that will always be with me through the ages of my gaming life. I've never had a problem with it. It'll always be forever loved and such fonded memories. Not just the N64 version that came out in 1999, but also the magnificence of the other games like Brawl, Melee, and the Wii U version as well. Pretty sure the Nintendo Switch might have a version coming up. You right, little man? So you take good care of yourself, fellow video gaming minions. Thank you very much for watching my episode of Virtual Archives of Super Smash Brothers. Let me know your thoughts on the game if you have any particular good thoughts, and I'd like to hear some of your personal history of the game, not just your thoughts of what you think of it, but your your experience with it. So you take good care of yourselves, fellow gaming minions. May retro gaming live on, and I look forward to hearing from you. And you take good care of yourselves.